You're watching The Sovereign Life with Teresa Stewart on Channel 82.
Welcome back to this episode of The Sovereign Life. If you're just joining us, we have already talked about the first 2 tips on how to manage your finances as a college student. The very first thing you want to do is be prepared to be an adult. And after that, you want to get organized now. And that includes having a budget, knowing what expenses you have to spend out. And when it comes to being prepared to be an adult, just owning the fact that you are now an adult. You are now 18 plus and you are taking care of your own life on your own. Now let's wrap this up by talking about the very last thing that you need to do in order to manage your finances as a college student. Now, protect your finances. We talked about this a bit when we were discussing your budget. You need to be looking for ways that you can save money. A lot of businesses offer discounts to college students. If you have a .edu email address, just about everything that you can sign up for, whether it's an Adobe Creative Cloud subscription, whether it's your Microsoft subscription, they actually give students a better rate than they give the rest of the world. So you can actually save money again when it comes to purchasing the things that you actually need to have to be an amazing college student. So where you can, look for ways to save money. Now, another thing that you want to do when it comes to protecting your finances is do not get excited when the bank offers you a credit card. Yes, I get it. That's like the symbol of when you are an adult. Like, oh, I have a credit card. I can spend money on X, Y, and Z. It's literally the best feeling. Like, it really makes you feel special. Like, the bank thinks so highly of me. They are giving me a credit card. What they're actually doing is possibly setting you up for failure if you're not prepared to protect your finances. So when you get a credit card offer, think of it as a loan, because that's exactly what it is. That's money that the bank is loaning to you. And no matter if they say that you don't have to pay an annual fee for the credit card, if your interest rate is lower than everyone else's, there are still things attached to that credit card that can get you caught out. So be prepared to have at least whatever your credit amount is in savings. So if the bank offers you a $500 credit card, if you don't have $500 in your savings account, just say no. Just say no to the credit card, because as tempting as it will be to just swipe your credit card, max it out, and then pay it when you feel like it, you will never feel like paying that credit card off. Let me just tell you. So we're gonna go into another personal story, because I got my very first credit card in Atlanta. It was only $500. Bank of America said, hey, you've been a customer with us for over 5 years, and we wanna offer you this credit card. So I got this $500 credit card, and the banker told me, she actually said to me, do not max your credit card out. Do not carry a balance. She gave me all of these great tips, and I was like, yeah, sis, okay, whatever you say. I hear what you're saying, but I absolutely didn't listen, because I maxed that credit card out within like a month. And then when it came time for me to pay that off, the same girl that was paying Russian roulette with her debit card had no idea how she was gonna pay off this $500, because I did not have $500 in savings. I maybe had like $200 in my savings account. So I was able to bring my balance down, sure, from the $500. But one thing I didn't realize with carrying a balance on my credit card is that their bank is gonna keep charging me on that balance every single time. And so what happened when I was able to get it down to $300, it skyrocketed up again. And it kept growing and it kept growing, because I was not even paying the minimum. I was just like, I don't feel like paying for this credit card, because I just didn't feel like paying for the credit card. And unfortunately for me, the bank said, okay, sis, since you don't want to pay for this credit card, we're gonna close your account. And when they closed my account, I actually still had to pay that. I still had to pay that $503 credit card off so that I wouldn't have a bad mark on my credit score, which it was a blessing in disguise, because I really did need the credit card. Like, if I'm being honest, I could have just continued to use a debit/cash system while I was in college. Having a credit card was just another way for me to put myself in debt. And being in debt is not something you want to do as a college student, because as I mentioned earlier, you have so many other things to focus on. You have your schoolwork to focus on. You're probably looking to get a job once you get out of college. And so all of these things are going to create stress in your life. And if you're trying to create more stress in your life by having a credit card and then putting yourself into debt, it's just not worth it. So if you do decide to get a credit card, if you say to yourself, okay, I do actually have $500 in my savings account, or I do have $1,000 in my savings account, I think I can manage having a credit card. One of the things you're gonna wanna do is, the same way you created a budget for yourself, have a budget for your credit card. So only put certain things on your credit card that you know you can pay off. So like maybe you have a cell phone bill. Maybe you can set up auto pay with your cell phone company, and every single month that you get charged for your cell phone bill, you just pay that off because you have budgeted for it in your monthly budget. So you already know that you're gonna have the money for it. So put things on your credit card that you actually know that you have money saved up for. Don't just be swiping to get a new pair of clothes to go out on the weekend to some concert because you want to see an artist and you want to have a fresh outfit for it. I get that you want to have a fresh outfit for it, but if you can't afford it, if you didn't budget for it, do not swipe your credit card for it, because I promise you, when the bank comes to collect their money, they're not only coming for the money that you actually swiped for. If you leave that balance, they're gonna come for extra. And you don't want to put yourself in a position that you now have to make a decision on possibly going through something that you actually need to have in your life. Like maybe you actually need to pay for rent at some point. Maybe you move off campus and now you have to pay for your rent. And now you're making a decision between paying your rent or paying off your credit card, because I promise you, the rent should always trump the credit card at any point in time. Sure, we don't want to carry debt if we don't have to, but when it comes to our survival, the housing is probably the more important thing than the credit card. The credit card bill will always be there, and you will definitely need to find a way to get back on track. And there are so many strategies to getting out of debt. There's the avalanche strategy, and then there's also the snowball strategy. Depending on which one works best for you, if you want to get it off faster, or if you're okay to go through the long haul of paying down your debt, find one that works for you, because I promise you, as a college student, your income is not going to be as vast as you might want it to be in your first 2 years. Don't think that you're gonna be able to command a full $3,000, $5,000 per month income as a college student. Set your expectations and know that if you're gonna create a debt for yourself, make it a debt that actually makes sense. So maybe your debt could be putting money into the stock market. Maybe you can start your investment portfolio. Maybe you put that as an expense to yourself versus a credit card, because I promise you, the credit card is not gonna go anywhere. The bank will probably come back next year. If you say no to the credit card this year, they'll probably come back next year and say, hey, we have a new credit card for you. Do you want it? They will probably come back over and over again. They're not gonna let you go, because you to them are an asset. So you definitely wanna make sure that where you can, protect your finances. Now, I wanna just summarize everything that we've talked about and just give you the highlight key points that you should take away from today. When it comes to being an adult, being prepared to be an adult, understand that you're not gonna get it right the first time. None of us do, none of us have, none of us will, and that's okay. We're all human, we all have different experiences when it comes to college, and sometimes we get thrown curveballs that we didn't necessarily plan for, and that is okay. When you start to get organized with your money by creating a budget, when you start to figure out what works for you and what doesn't work for you, it will start to make more sense for you. You'll have peace of mind that you didn't necessarily know that you always needed or wanted. And that too is something that you should be proud of, because I can promise you this, when I was in college, I was stressed out when I was playing that Russian roulette with my debit card. I promise you, when that girl came back and told me that the debit card did not go through for that one little $10 charge, I was like, how, Sway? That is not even a big transaction. How am I literally not able to pay $10 for this food meal that I've just gotten? Like, that is the wildest thing. So getting organized early will take you so much further than just playing Russian roulette and the chaos that can come with not knowing where your money is going every single day of the month, every single week, or just monthly. Now, let me just say, pro tip, do not try to be over tracking your spending. You don't have to do it every day if that is a lot for you. A weekly, even a monthly situation is more than enough time for you to see where your money has gone over the last 2 weeks, over the last month, and then better prepare yourself for the next month. Do not feel like you have to dig deep and really get all into this right now. You don't. It's okay. And when it comes to protecting your finances, make sure at the end of the day that you are making smart financial decisions. Don't just get a credit card, or don't just sign up for a store's charge account just because they offered it to you because they think you're a great prospect. They think you're a great prospect that they can actually trap you into a situation that might be hard for you to get out of later on in life. So as best you can, make sure that you protect your finances, and where you can, ask other people in your life what they think of having a credit card. What do they think of having charge accounts? What do they think about having all of these other things in their financial situation? And heed their advice if they're advising you to just wait a little bit. As a college student, you got plenty of time. You got plenty of time for a new credit card. You got plenty of time for other things that you might want to do in life. With that, I do want to thank you for watching this episode of The Sovereign Life. Do make sure that you follow us on social media. Make sure that you are connecting with us on Instagram at TSL Podcast _ where you can find us. And I am Teresa, Terry Too Cool. Make sure you follow me on social media as well. And we'll be back with so much more content for you to enjoy. So make sure you come back to watch this episode of The Sovereign Life.
You've been watching The Sovereign Life. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for watching.